helps is to have those gaps lessened, so that when we talk about gaps around the Aboriginal Enhancement Agreement, and it's going to be through programs like the Spirals program that are going to be a benefit to our students and give them that opportunity for success so that we can start to narrow that gap.
If this work is not the reason I walk, then I will not continue to do it. It's the type of work that gets you out of bed. It's the type of work that has meaningful connections to who you are as a person. And then it's more than just a career or a job or a position or a title, but a responsibility.
It's just awesome. Like, I honestly think it's the process that we're going through that's way more important than anything that we've actually done here at the school. And it's interesting because some of the conversations that we're having as adults is really reflection on some of the things that we're doing that may be perpetuating some of the things we're trying to change.
I've just arrived. The staff is far along the way in their inquiry spiral, and now we're really looking at what we need to do on purpose to move our learning forward and then to take some action.
It started with a survey that they sent out to us. And after answering the questions, I had realized the lack of motivation I had been having. And to me, that was really comforting because I realized, hey, they're actually listening to what we're saying.
I really want to see that they feel and believe that this school is theirs.
I think it's cool that we do this drum group. It's the school I've always wanted to be in.
So we want to teach the kids that it's okay to fail, it's okay to struggle, but when you are failing or you are struggling, you need to be able to look around you and draw from the resources that we have in our community. So we need to be able to help them identify areas in the community that can give them strength.
Something that made me more comfortable is getting to know my teachers better and, feeling that I can talk to them about anything.
I felt like we had a voice in our school and that they cared about our education.
Through the Indigenous Transition Study, I hope that we recognize where the gaps are for our Indigenous learners and what we really need to do on purpose to help them become stronger advocates for themselves and a more visible part of our school community, our larger community of Barrier, and of our region.
So our process is, what can we do to have the students feel more connected, more welcome, more belonging into our school buildings?
Being able to zero in on a focus, even in a small way, and it's just a start, it's helped us feel a sense of efficacy and real purpose in what we're doing.
We are really working hard at increasing a sense of belonging with our students and also with our staff. Embedding Indigenous pedagogy is really helping to redefine how we think of success here. So instead of being focused on academic success, we are working on creating community of learners here where everybody is valued and included and feels good. We want learning environments that are thriving, that are joyful, and that build on everybody's strengths. We're seeing such effects that this time has on our learners in the sense that they are gaining confidence and they are speaking up more and feeling, I believe, a lot better about themselves.
Some of the things I'm learning are that even though I feel like I've got a strong background of knowledge in what we're talking about, I really only know a surface layer of both our history and in terms of how to make things better. And together as a team, the ideas that we're sharing and the support we're providing for each other is going to help us get to a place where things are better.
So what we're hoping out of that, the bigger picture and that scaling up idea, is also coming up with a course for all of our staff, both existing and new staff, on honoring diversity. So if we're going to set the bar high, and if we're going to set it high in grade 8 for our students, then we also need to mirror that and scale it up for our staff. And that way, it's a systemic answer to obviously what Equity Scan and also our survey are showing as systemic issues.
Having positive role models and seeing people who have, you know, grown up in our small town and in our community and gone to our school and have gone on and been able to be successful or to live out their dreams and do what they would like to do might give them a sense of, hey, I can do this too.
The school started by doing a school-wide survey, or scanning, where we were looking for a student authentic voice. And we used the OECD principles to take measure, I guess, of what the students were saying. And we landed upon 2 as a school. So students, putting students at the center is one of them, and then horizontal connections is the other one that was a resounding response from the student body.
So in the school, we have a broad committee, the Tuchum Nemt committee, and there are small groups of us that each have our own paddles. My paddle is equity, and part of my equity paddle is this, the Indigenous Transitions Project. But we also have a language paddle, we also have an Indigenizing our space paddle, and so we get together as a broad group, and then we have paddle meetings throughout.
I've always been interested and really passionate about inclusion and diversity in class. So I started doing a scanning piece on how connected students felt to the content, to each other in class, and to their teacher, and found that a lot were really disconnected. And so I did a lot of research on implementing universal design for learning to build a sense of community in class and also have students celebrate what their strengths are and feel welcome and that they can express themselves in the best way. There's a really big sense of community in our class.
Teachers are starting to ask me more about how they can incorporate teachings into their classes about First Nations people, which means a lot to me, especially because not many teachers do talk about it.
I'm learning that no matter what I do, I have an impact on everyone around me. Given the opportunity, I'd like to make that a positive impact rather than anything negative.
There's not a division. They don't want it to be Indigenous versus non-Indigenous. They want us to all be one, moving forward together. And wouldn't that be exciting if we could do that?
Future generations, I guess, in a way, will be like more comfortable than like the last few and this one right now. Because I feel like most Indigenous students have like hid themselves away, like they change themselves so they could fit in. But with this going on, I feel like they don't have to change anything about themselves. They'll just like feel comfortable, and everyone else will feel comfortable too with having them.
I think that we can't ever stop asking those questions. I think that we always need to be considering how our practice is affecting our students and looking at that with fresh eyes, year to year, semester to semester, and child to child. So I think it's really important to make those changes as we see fit, and we need to keep asking for that feedback.
We want to be able to celebrate successes within, but we want to see a strong Indigenous voice and a strong Indigenous culture moving outside of the community and to the broader Canadian community.
It's very important that my values as an Indigenous person, as an educator, and the values of the system align. Because if there isn't that alignment, it means that I'm not doing the job that I'm here for.
Even with baby steps, together we're still walking forward to a better world. Even one conversation can make the largest difference.
We are working to save lives, to make lives better so that life expectancy, life outcomes, success for learners and communities and families become everything that they're meant to be. And hopefully our little steps will help us move in that direction instead of backwards or in circles.